Everything changed the moment the system awakened. Levels, stats, skills, dungeons, power beyond imagination. With the blood of a Saiyan, the mind of a gamer, and a destiny that will shake the entire shinobi world, Naruto is about to become something far greater than Hokage. This is Naruto, the Gamer Experience. Now let's begin today's chapter. Naruto slowly begins to stir as the smell of lilac and melon touch his nose while his blue eyes slowly open to Mujina spooning him. The last night's events come to mind as the pair spent a few hours making love with Redhead filling a few condoms. A clone pops to life and Naruto seamlessly swaps with him as he goes for a shower and morning business. He dresses in shorts, running tight and a tank top to do his dailies despite no longer giving experience. He runs several laps around the deck as the ship ebbs and flows to the rhythm of the sea. The sun is coming up on the ocean like a fire rising from salty sea as Naruto gets a few pictures. "You'll have quite the album," Boy of Musashi says, and Naruto mentally nods. He makes it back to find Mujina waking up with a soft look on her face. "Morning," she says. "Morning," Naruto says, dismissing his clone. She kisses his cheek after grabbing a robe and goes to the bathroom for a shower. Naruto takes a seat at the table and looks over his stats but also unfinished quests like Uzushio, the SSJ-4 quest and finding the masked Uchiha. He then brings out a book called I Am a Monarch he found in a bookstore in Iacon about a fantastical world with very powerful warriors entering a tower. A pair of hands rub his shoulders to break his immersion and he looks to see Mujina in a dark blue blouse with black pants. "Want to get breakfast?" Mujina says. Naruto nods and closes his book with a bookmark before grabbing a sweater as they head for the galley for breakfast to enjoy eggs, sausage, bacon, toast with various jams or jelly. They finish and take a walk around the ship to see the sights. 3 days pass and the time for them to leave the ship happens as they were the only ones disembarking. The craft should have enough fuel to reach the shore of Hahajima or Mother Island, a crewman says. Naruto and Mujina were below deck as the crew were setting up a boat for them. "That's fine. Thank you," he says. The boat is a 2-seater with a decent motor as the pair climb aboard and they are launched after the crew starts the engine for them. They take off from the cruise ship and set a course towards the main island, which is about an hour's trek across the waters. "Can we use this boat to reach the mainland after stopping on Mother Island?" Mujina says, looking out at the water. "We can. The island should have fuel. We fill up and head for tea country," Naruto says. "Hopefully," Mujina says, as Naruto sets the autopilot. The pair watch the water with small or medium waves bouncing their boat, but the closer they get to Mother Island does the water become choppier. "What is going on?" Mujina says, as their boat is bumped hard from below. Naruto takes the boat out autopilot and tries to maneuver to safer waters, but they are bumped harder. A creature leaps onto the front of the boat with green scale-like skin, fins, gills and tattered clothes. "What the hell?" Naruto says and fires a few energy blast into it, knocking it off the boat, but another hard hit smacks them right. Mujina looks back to see another 2 tears off their motor. "Look," she shouts. The boat slowly comes to a halt and Naruto unbuckles as Mujina the same, before grabbing her in his arm and flying skyward as their boat is torn apart. "Could that be the strange creature?" Mujina says. "Yeah, but it is more than one. We'll need to ask the people on the island," Naruto says, as boat pieces sink below the depths. Mujina shifts a little and Naruto flies towards Mother Island, soon landing on the shore and making their way towards the port. People see them and more than a few were scrutinizing as the pair were new to the island. "Cold reception," Naruto says and Mujina nods. "Is that Naruto?" a voice says, stopping the redhead and half-elf. "Are you sure, Ino?" a second says. "Of course. Who else has red hair like that?" other Karen Ino says, and Naruto sees Team 10. "It is Naruto," Choji says, chomping on chips as both sides meet up, but a Kimichi air is much buffer. "Yeah. I can still eat as much as want, but my intakes is going to muscle, Choji says, flexing his right arm. He's a powerhouse on missions now, but what are you doing here, Naruto? And who's she? Shikamaru comments. I'm Mujina. Tesh of Mujina says, bowing a bit. We were passing through when our boat was attacked. What about you? Naruto says. We chasing some rumors for Lord Jiraiya concerning Orochimaru and sea monsters, Shikamaru says. We may have encountered those sea monsters, Mujina says, as the two groups head for a restaurant to discuss it. How was your trip? Ino asks. It was good. I traveled the continent and became an adventurer. It would take too long to explain, Naruto replies. You're in the bingo book, Shikamaru says, changing the subject. Really? Naruto says. Yeah. As an A-class threat by Kumogakure. You interfered in a mission, Ino says. Were you not helping the new daimyo? Mujina says, knowing that Naruto told her of his travels. The group of 5 find a small restaurant and find a place to sit. I was. Humo must have spined things to not look weak as someone from Konoha helped them, Naruto says, seeing an old woman and overhears her conversation. The demons spirit away people, an older woman says. Sorry to butt in, but spurred away, Naruto says. A waitress brings the old woman some coffee. It's a legend. Never approach the demon island, they say. Demons live there. The waitress starts and follow Naruto to his table with the others. However, the fishing was good there, but 10 years ago, fish disappeared from the sea. So people disobeyed the legends and began to fish there. However, that's when the disappearances started, the waitress explains. Naruto cups his chin in thought and looks to Shikamaru. They are here to investigate strange creatures, Naruto says, pointing to Team 10. We heard rumors a girl returned after being spirited away, Shikamaru says. The waitress gives Shikamaru and his team a strange look. Why, yes, Isaribi. She lives near the eastern shore overlooking Demon Island, the waitress says, and excuses herself to get their menus. So, there's a witness? Naruto asks. Yeah, but it was rumors spies found, but now we have a name, Shikamaru says. How did you and Naruto meet? Ino says, ignoring their mission. Have you eaten Naruto's cooking? Choji adds, and Shikamaru mutters, Mendokusei. Ino is very talkative, Mujina says, walking with Naruto towards Isaribi's home. Her family works in the TNI department and she's gossip. Information is key for her, Naruto says. They find the home or shack having graffiti all over it. How cruel, Mujina says. Who are you? A voice says, and both turn to a young woman in her teens. She has purple hair and black pupil-less eyes, with her face, arms and legs are wrapped in bandages. She wears a sleeveless tunic blouse with brown shorts and a simple yellow sash around her waist. Are you Isaribi? Naruto asks, and she clutches her bag. What do you want? Isaribi states, a little fear in her voice. Naruto ruffles his hair with a glance to Mujina. My name is Naruto and this is Mujina. We're searching for information on the demons of the ocean, he says, and Isaribi freezes. I don't have any information. Please leave, Isaribi states, but her posture changes as Shikamaru and Choji appear with Ino in his arms. Catch her, Naruto, Isaribi says, as she faints and Naruto does. Ino awakens in Choji's arms and kisses his cheek as he lets her down. She was indeed spurred away, but it was more like kidnapped and experimented on by a man called Amachi. He has ties to Orochimaru, she says. What do you want to do, Shikamaru? Naruto says. Naruto and I will head for Demon Island as we're both Jonin. Ino. Choji and Mujina will guard Isaribi, Shikamaru says. I'll summon Dreiger. Bjorn and Fan, Mujina says. Isaribi soon awakens and Shikamaru explains things to her, but she's still weary, however accepts their aid and lends them a boat to head for the island. Have Tsunade and the others come back to the village? Naruto asks, as a clone his works the boat motor. You don't know, Shikamaru says, and Naruto shakes his head. Yeah. It was about 2 weeks ago. Each are Chunin now except his death, who is Tokubetsu Jonin, he adds. Naruto smiles softly but is suddenly yanked backwards into the ocean by a large tentacle, dragging him further down, and he sees a large shadow with smaller shadows. The largest shadow being a large squid-like creature but a large snout and rows of sharp teeth with a second jaw inside. That's not the stuff of nightmares, Naruto thought. Final shine, Naruto thought, firing the green energy blast. It detonates into the squid monster and explodes violently to push Naruto back to the surface, even the smaller shadows as well, while Naruto flies out. He sees the boat about 3 miles away under attack the sea creatures he encountered. Machine gun blows, Naruto shouts, firing off a barrage of energy blasts. Shikamaru takes cover as the blasts detonate around him. What the hell, you troublesome redhead, he shouts. Would you rather those creatures get you, Naruto says, landing on the boat with water dripping from his body. Mendokusei. Those must be the demons of the ocean, Shikamaru says. Yeah. What dragged me under was some giant squid creature with teeth and numerous human-sized monsters or people Amachi has experimented on, Naruto says, as his clone starts up the motor once again. We should hit this with a two-prong approach. From above and below. Those creatures have to come somewhere underwater, Shikamaru says. Naruto removes his black, sleeveless collared shirt with white fastenings and unseals a weapons pouch. I'll take below then. He'll be able to erase your presence with a seal, Naruto says, giving his clone some more chakra. Be on guard. Who knows what could be underwater, Shikamaru says, and Naruto nods, before diving into the water. Sharks were beginning to frenzy as Naruto zooms under it and heads for Demon Island, but also erasing his presence as well. Could Orochimaru be here, Musashi says. Who knows, but we'll find out, Naruto thought, soon reaching the island itself and sees a passageway. He swims through it and comes up to a small lagoon inside a cavern with spiraling steps leading to door. He barely pokes his head out to look for cameras but sees none as he emerges from the lagoon. He looks around and makes his way up the stairs to the door, checking to see if it is locked, and it is, but uses his lock-picking skill to unlock it. Seems this place is built into the cave system on the island, Musashi says, as Naruto moves quietly down a path. The path is linear with 90-degree turns having wooden beams to sturdy things, but soon finds another door with an eerie green glow coming from it. Naruto reaches the door and looks through half-open door to see about a dozen glass cylinder with strange creatures inside, bird. Fish, he thought, but sees a person and uses observe. Misumi Tsurugi, Musashi says. Naruto slides through the open door and closes in on Misumi as he observes the creature inside a larger cylinder. Misumi is unaware of Naruto's presence until a kunai is under his throat. Don't move, Naruto says, but danger senses go off and he turns them for Misumi to take several kunai to the chest. That red hair, a voice says, as they pull a rope. The floor gives way under them as both fall, but chains burst from it to pull Naruto up for him to see Kabuto. Hello, Naruto, Kabuto says. It's been a long time, Kabuto, Naruto says, and Kabuto smirks, his eyes hidden behind his glasses. The room shakes a little as the wall to Naruto's left rises with 3 sets of red eyes becoming visible. Why don't you play with them for a bit, Kabuto says, slamming the door as 3 lion-like chimeras emerge with loud growling. Kabuto makes it about 15 feet before one of the chimeras crashes through the wall behind him. Naruto emerges from the dust cloud as Kabuto smiles, amazing, Naruto. Do entertain us more. We'll be waiting ahead, Kabuto says, before falling like a puppet cut from its strong. Naruto rushes to Kabuto and sees his face is peeling, but he slowly removes it to show someone else entirely. Seems a trap lies ahead, Musashi says. Well, let's spring it then, Naruto says, taking off. He follows the path with a rising incline that leads him to a large area, whereas Kabuto is waiting with a horrific creature. What the hell is that, Naruto says. It looks vaguely humanoid, standing about near 7 to 8 feet tall, fish-like scales, bird-like wings and 2 human faces almost like they were fused together in a screaming visage. This was once my teammate Yoroi Akato and this base's head researcher Amachi. Lord Orochimaru calls it Yoramachi, Kabuto explains, patting its side. Orochimaru is curse on this world, Naruto says, his thoughts going back Ryu's uncle. Have fun, Naruto-kun, Kabuto says, melting into mud. Yoromachi roars with the scream of two people and shunshin's forward with a fist coming forward, but Naruto blocks as he is pushed back a little. They've got some power, Naruto thought, but feels some of chakra being pulled from him, before freeing him, and Yoromachi grows bigger. Okay. Avoid their hands, Naruto says, rushing towards Yoromachi with his hands behind him but sparking with purple lighting. Raiton, countershock, Naruto thought, shooting his hands forward and slamming them in Yoromachi. They roar in pain as purple lightning surges through their body but swings some wide palm strikes and Naruto avoids them. Rising Dragon, Naruto shouts into a rising uppercut, chaining that into a spinning hurricane kick. Yoromachi flies back and crashes into a wall with rush of dust, but Naruto is trying a new jutsu by extending his index and pinky fingers outward while leaving the rest folded. A Rasengan forms, but this one is releasing bolts of purple lightning, before switching to a pinching motion using his pointer and thumb while also extending the middle finger. Murasaki, Naruto says, and this new Rasengan fires forward like lightning bolt, destroying everything in its path. Yoromachi has no time to even react as Murasaki slams into them and drives them through the wall but Aslo destroying everything in its path until it reaches outside. 3 elemental Rasengan, and this one made on the fly. Only 2 more elements, Boya Musashi says. Naruto flies through nearly made hole and sees the path of destruction out. Wow, he says. Indeed, Musashi says. The path of destruction goes for about 3/4 of a mile with nothing remaining of Yoromachi, now. Where are you, Shikamaru, Naruto thought, creating a clone to dispel, and a few minutes later memories flood his mind as he vanishes. He finds Shikamaru and his clones surrounded by a dozen or so fish-like creatures of various animals. Naruto, Shikamaru says, as Naruto lands and his clones dispels. You alright, Naruto says, and begins explaining about encountering Kabuto, or some facsimile of him, Yoromachi, but also his new Rasengan. You are truly troublesome, Shikamaru says, before suddenly several explosions go off through the island. The pair would try to find the source of the explosion but find no way back into the base, so Shikamaru decides the mission is a wash but would report Orochimaru was involved in some form or fashion. He would decide to take Isaribi back to Konoha for treatment concerning her scales. The two groups would take a boat to Tea Country and travel north with Naruto's group on horseback, swapping stories along the way with Naruto asking Shikamaru to inform the Hokage that he would be exploring Uzushio. The two group part near Fire Country border and Naruto seals Mujina in his stasis scroll as he flies toward Uzushio. Amazing, Naruto says, hovering above a near-mile-wide whirlpool. He flies towards the island and lands on a sandy shore, but it also felt like he passed through a barrier of some kind. He releases Mujina from the scroll and she looks around. That was strange, she says. It's sleep according sensei, Naruto says. Meanwhile, towards the center of Uzushio, in the center of destroyed tall building, sits a figure on a makeshift throne on the destroyed roof of a tower similar to Hokage Tower of Konoha. He has grayish-blue unkempt short, spiky hair and a ponytail, clipped eyebrows, brown horns growing from the back of his head and wrapping around to his forehead with a small gap in between them. He wears a long-sleeve, light-colored suit with a sectioned apron over it, along with a sash and bowstaff resting on his shoulder. Someone has passed through the barrier. I wonder who, the figure says, in a laid-back and jovial tone. Below the tower are the rotting or mummified bodies of people in shinobi armor of previous generations. Back with Naruto and Mujina, the pair were moving through the steep hills towards the center of the island. Could the library of Ashina be at the center of the village of Uzushio-gakure, Mujina says, riding Dryger. It would have to be, Naruto thought, but gets a prompt from the system. Quest updated. Find your ancestral home of Uzushio and find the library of Ashina. Defeat the Keeper of Secrets. Reward. 1. Young half of Kyubi no Yoko. 2. Instant transmission. 3. 500 to stats. This Urashiki character. Can you beat him as you are? Mujina asks, concerned. I'll have to be. Maybe SSJ4 is needed, but then again maybe not, Naruto says, running alongside her. They soon reach a city's edge and pass a destroyed wall, with city itself be a little more industrial, having tall buildings. An entire nation wiped out due irrational fears, Naruto thought, as they continue forward while Mujina summons Shiro to scout above them. What happened to Uzushio? Mujina asks. They were wiped out by a combined force from Kumo, Iwa and Kiri. The leaders feared the Uzumaki's power of sealing after Mito Uzumaki sealed the original Kyuubi inside herself, Naruto explains, but both halt in their tracks. A bridge crossing a mile-wide river is destroyed and the river is moving rapidly. Can you leap across? Dryger, Naruto says, but the tiger shrinks to carry size, leaping into Mujina's arm. Thought so, Naruto says, and lift Mujina like a bride, laughing a little, and flies across the river. He lets Mujina down after they cross the river with more destruction ahead of them. What are those? She says. Naruto, his eyes as he sees rotted bodies before them. This reminds me of the dungeon I took with the girls, but that's not possible, he says, and weaves a chain of signs to Tiger to expel a barrage of shuriken-shaped flames. Mujina brings out her bow and takes a few wind-enhanced potshots to ignite the fire, setting the corpses on fire and turning them to ashes. Could it be like Gorobaro's? Mujina says. I really don't know, Naruto says, as they reach the scorched area and he kneels to see a melted Hittite for Kumo. Dryger approaches and sniffs it but paws at her nose as Mujina braces her hands on her knees to look down. What is it? She asks. A Hittite of Kumogakure, Naruto says, but his danger senses go off as Dryger begins to whimper. Mujina. Take Dryger and go, he adds. Mujina picks up Dryger and runs back towards the river after seeing the look on Naruto's face. Ho! That red hair is dead, giveaway, a voice says, and looks to see Urashiki standing about 30 feet from him. Who are you? Naruto says. I am the owner of this island, Urashiki Otsutsuki, and you are an Uzumaki, Urashiki says. You're the one who told Duncan Decasius to kill Ingrid Faustian, Naruto says, and Urashiki giggles in a malicious manner. Music, Urashiki theme, loop. He he he. So you're the lost Uzumaki. Meaning you have the key to Ashina's library, Urashiki says, and begins unleashing his chakra that lifts small rocks around him. Both vanish and a minor shockwaves tear through skies of Uzushio-gakure. Why do you want the key? Naruto shouts, unleashing furious flurry of punches. Urashiki avoids Naruto's punches with a lopsided smile on his face. Why does a bug need to know about what a bird does? Urashiki says, catching Naruto's punches and pulling him into a crushing knee. Naruto doubles over with spittle coming from his mouth, but another knee hits his chin, before a concussive blow sends him crashing through several floors of a building. What the hell was that? Naruto thought and flies out of the building. I don't know, boy, Musashi says, beginning to prepare some sage energy for him. Urashiki rushes Naruto for another blow, but Naruto blocks with his hands as his SSJ aura flares out. Oh my. What a transformation. Is this the power of the Kyuubi as well? Urashiki says, shocking the SSJ. My eyes do more than see, Urashiki says, lowering himself to the ground. He must possess the Byakugan or something similar, Musashi says, as Naruto lowers himself. He quickly shoots for a shoulder block but turns that into a barrage of punches that push them across the street, kicking up dust in the process, but Urashiki ends Naruto's offense with a punt kick into another concussive blast. Naruto catches himself and rockets for Urashiki, but now as a SSJ2, Martial Chi, Iron Annihilation, he shouts, catching Urashiki in the face and sending him rocketing away. Naruto quickly follow, but just as quickly, and has to catch Blast Chakra to narrowly sends it upward. Not a bad punch, bug, Urashiki says, his face slowly healing, and he raises his left hand and Naruto feels himself being yanked forward by some force. Huh, Naruto thought, being caught by Urashiki's left hand before something pierces his stomach. Naruto collapses to all fours as he feels like his chakra is going haywire, but Urashiki slams his boot into the SSJ's head, driving it into ground and few more stomps while laughing as Naruto's SSJ form fades. Tell me, Bug. Would you like to see your clan or what is left? Urashiki says. Naruto tries to move as blood runs down his face and reaches his knees, seeing some black rod in his stomach, but his breath hitches as he pulls it out. He sees dozens of shambling corpses with various shade of red hair as Urashiki laughs and the redhead sees a ringed blue eye in the Otsutsuki's right eye. Why, you bastard, Naruto says, staggering to his feet and bracing on his left knee with his right holding his wound. Ha ha ha. Your hate is no concern of mine. Now reunite with fallen clan lost Uzumaki, Urashiki says. Naruto grits his teeth and roars to the skies as his SSJ aura flares in a super explosive wave of energy that engulfs the reanimated Uzumaki but also Urashiki. Naruto falls to his knees with his shirt missing and everything destroyed for nearly a mile, but he sees Urashiki, but some damage has been done. His right horn is missing along with his right arm. Why, you damn bug, Urashiki says, closing in. Naruto falls to all fours as Urashiki now looms over him and grabs the back of his neck. I'll borrow some of your precious chakra, Urashiki says, and siphons some sage energy, forcing him off the redhead as the Otsutsuki's fingers turn to stone. What have you done? Urashiki says. Naruto links his hands together and uses martial chi into a hammer blow, sending Urashiki flying back. He gets to his feet in his sage mode as blue bioelectricity surges. How, Naruto roars, going SSJ, and lowers his stance as he powers into SSJ2. The ground cracks under Naruto as Urashiki grits his teeth in anger. HAO, Naruto roars, going SSJ3. You damn bug, Urashiki hisses, feeling the sage energy poisoning his body. He shocks Naruto by ripping out his own eyes to devour them and he rockets towards the Otsutsuki, but the wind picks up violently as Urashiki's body changes and blows Naruto back. Urashiki now has a fiendish, avian form with his feet now elongated talons and new eyes are golden while also manifesting a golden third eye on his forehead. Black asymmetrical markings spread over his face and legs and his hair has grown long and wild while his horns took on the appearance of flared wings, with the broken right horn only partially formed. Let's end this, Naruto shouts, rocketing forward, and Urashiki does the same as a second set of arms burst from his sides while his upper arms work as wings. The pair meet in a shockwave into a flurry of punches and kicks coming at speed barely visible to the naked eye. Lightning breaker, Naruto shouts, exploding Urashiki's lower left arm with a right. Urashiki counters with his talon feet to cut into Naruto's chest and spraying blood, chaining that into palms to Naruto's head and blowing out his eardrums. Not again, Naruto thought, firing a final shine, but Urashiki avoids it. Urashiki's lunges at Naruto, but the redhead meets him with a Hyakuratsuken as Urashiki tries to block and several get through. Obliterating last bullet, Naruto shouts, sending Urashiki crashing to the ground. You damn bug, Urashiki shouts, preparing to launch at Naruto, but the ground glows suddenly. Hundreds of ethereal chains burst from the ground to ensnare Urashiki, to his shock, and Naruto's as well. Naruto sees the ethereal bodies of hundreds of red hair people. Don't waste this, boy, Musashi says. Right, Naruto shouts, flaring his aura and extending his index and pinky fingers outward while leaving the rest folded. Murasaki forms, but this one is growing larger and larger thanks to his sage mode, the bolts of purple lightning surging through the sky. Urashiki struggles against the chains, but they pull him on his back. You damn Uzumaki, he shouts. Naruto switches to a pinching motion using his pointer and thumb while also extending the middle finger. Senpo, Cho Otama Murasaki, he roars, and Murasaki fires like a falling star toward Urashiki. It detonates and erases everything for nearly a mile, even drilling down about 50 feet as well to erase Urashiki from this world. Song ends. Quest complete. Find your ancestral home of Uzushio and find the library of Ashina. Defeat the Keeper of Secrets. Reward: 1. Young half of Kyubi no Yoko. 2. Instant transmission. 3. 500 to stats. Secret quest complete. honor and free the Uzumaki clan. Reward 1. 1000 all stats. Naruto slowly lands at the crater's edge as the ethereal people surround him, and this warm feeling fills him, but all them point towards the tower in the distance. Is that where Ashina's library is, he says, but all of them fade away. He turns, feel a surge of power as Musashi regain her other half. Musashi. How do you feel? Naruto says. Like I am whole boy, Musashi says. Naruto, a voice shouts, and Naruto sees Mujina coming on the back of Dryger. They reach him and she slides off Dryger to hug him tightly. Are you okay? Mujina says. Yeah. I was helped by the Uzumaki or their ghosts, but they showed me where Ashina's library is, Naruto says, shocking her. He unseals a long-sleeve shirt from a seal and they head for the tower in the center of Uzushiogakure. The tower itself resembles the Hokage Tower of Konoha, but the upper half has a makeshift throne on top. Naruto and Mujina enter the tower with Dryger as Redhead makes some clones to scout around. Up or down, he asks. Down, Mujina says. The three search for a basement and find it with 10 rounds of stairs, but Naruto lifts them up to jump down, landing like a feather as the chamber lights up to reveal a door having the Uzumaki spiral. The three move closer to the door as Naruto brings out the key of Ashina. What could be inside? Mujina asks. The Uzumaki were steeped in mystery. Fuinjutsu was their specialty. So much so 3 Nation destroyed them and Urashiki took up residence searching for this key, Naruto says, finding the keyhole indention. He opens the key and turns it several as loud clicking tumblers echo before the door groans, slowly opening to reveal library about 30 feet high and 20 wide with various relics of a bygone era. Suits of armor on steel mannequins, rows of jutsu scrolls, Uzumaki histories, journals of various Uzumaki leaders, precious stones, jewelry. It would take Naruto and Mujina 3 months to catalog everything with 100 clones a day. Naruto learns about the first Uzumaki leader named Genryusei Uzumaki, son of Reiji Senju and Iona Otsutsuki. He chose neither name and instead named himself Uzumaki after seeing the whirlpools of Uzushio. Genryusei had a prowess with the sword, but the newly created Uzumaki became feared during the Sengoku Jidai upon his marriage to a woman known as Yachiru. The woman of 1,000 swords, some say, but her skill lay in seal arts or fuinjutsu. Together they created much of the fuinjutsu used today and few lost to the sands of time. Their grandson Ashina would reunite with his cousin clan the Senju to deal with a rampaging beast, which he sealed in mere minutes. It was that day the Senju and Uzumaki formed an eternal alliance, with him being the forefather of Konoha Fuinjutsu but also his cousin Mito marrying Hashirama, reuniting the clan the one splintered. Naruto stands on the river separating Uzushio with no shirt and his sword Jiger no Tengaku at his side. He slowly begins chaining signs to Ram, Sutton, Great Kraken Grave, he shouts. The river gurgles as 8 squid or octopus-like tentacles rise from the river, but could also see a bulbous head having yellow eyes. Best use this jutsu over a large lake or river, Musashi says, as the tentacles fall below the surface. Right, Naruto thought. He learned a fuinjutsu to go along with his chains known as Gochureken. It summons 8 large iron pillars fall, connected to one another by chains that pin the target to the ground or act as a prison of pillars. Its hand signs being ox, boar, horse, hare, ram and dragon. He also learned an Uzumaki genjutsu called Hakufuku, which shows the victim the illusion of purple cherry blossoms falling around them. His clones told him their vision began to blur and became unfocused as their consciousness became muddled, disoriented, and confused. Perhaps Sarada would like to learn it, Musashi says, as Naruto draws new Jaeger. The black sword hums with energy as Naruto lowers his stance with the sword behind his head. Uzumaki Kenjutsu, Banryuzen, Naruto shouts, swinging down, and a powerful purple energy wave releases as it carves through the river. Uzumaki Kenjutsu, Ryurazen, Naruto shouts, swinging wide and firing a purple bolt of lightning that turns into several lightning bolts. Naruto raises his sword and moves it in a circle as purple energy forms. Uzumaki Kenjutsu, Dragon Twister, he shouts, swinging forward. It creates a large, violent, and powerful purple energy tornado that annihilates everything caught in its path for about 80 feet. Last one. Uzumaki Kenjutsu, Goryu Tenmitsu, Naruto shouts, driving the tip of his sword into the water. Energy ruptures in a large area around as 5 enormous, light purple dragons wail to the heavens. These will definitely work against large numbers, Naruto thought, sheathing his sword. Naruto. The clones have finished the Horatian seal, Mujina shouts, from the riverbank on a broken bridge. He unseals a shirt and slips it on as he floats up to the broken bridge, ready to leave, Naruto says, and Mujina nods, before taking his hand. He places his index and middle finger to his forehead before remembering his clone's chakra as they vanish, reappearing in front of the library's entrance with instant transmission. The technique allows one to travel vast distances instantly by remembering a particular individual's chakra. That meant he could see Sarah and group if they were still in Kingsland, Princess Rhea in Azurlesia or Amethyst Roses, Asami in Republic City, King Joshua in Kalansha, Queen Raylia in Albion, and even the NTI, which he did but hid himself. Now to lock things up, Naruto says, dismissing his clones, and closes the door before turning the key to lock it. They head back to the surface and he seals her in stasis scroll before he takes flight from Uzushio. He flies to Fire Country and unseal Mujina as they would head for a hotel for a real shower in months. He sends a letter through Summon to the girls that they would be back in Konoha soon. The next day Naruto dresses himself more Tokubetsu Jonin attire of dark blue cargo jeans that taper into knee-high lace-up boots. A form-fitting, high-collar, lightweight tactical vest and a form-fitting, dark blue long-sleeve shirt and his hitayate hanging from belt. Ready to see Konoha and meet everyone, Naruto says, summoning Seafire, and Mujina nods. She wears a white blouse with a low-cut vest, black pants and calf-length boots. He climbs onto Seafire and lifts Mujina on as they take off at a light gallop. It was normal day in Konoha as the Eternal Guardians were bored out of their minds, but they see a few girls awaiting their bow. The 5 girls trained under one of the legendary Sannin and have grown in power but also in beauty. Are you sure it's today? Tsunade says. According to his letter. It should be today, Sarada says. Wait until he sees the house, Kagaya says. Yamato did a wonderful job with the expansion is Death Muses. Do you think Mujina will like us? Ya says, worrying a little and doing a small dance. Kagaya activates her Byakugan and sees one large chakra signature with another one coming closer. Look, she says, pointing. Each of them see someone or someone's on a horse and coming closer until all 5 of them see Naruto and Mujina on Seafire. He pulls the reins to stop Seafire as he looks over the 5 and all of them have gotten stronger. Hey, Naruto says, hopping down from Seafire and helping Mujina down before dispelling the horse. Hey yourself, Tsunade says, approaching the redhead and pulling him into a loving embrace. Mujina watches as each girl hugs Naruto as Tsunade approaches her. Tsunade Senju the blonde says, extending her hand. Mujina Teshif, Mujina says, as they shake hands. Naruto. Why don't you go report in with the Hokage? We'll take Mujina home, Tsunade says. Right, Naruto says, checking in with Izumo and Kotetsu before heading for the Hokage Tower. Best to let the harem talk, Boya, Musashi says. The village itself hasn't changed much but has some more modern updates reminiscent of Republic City. He reaches the tower just as Shikamaru and Choji were coming out. Naruto? You're finally back, Choji says. Choji. Shikamaru, Naruto says, as the buff Akimichi hugs him with a lift off the ground. Mendokusei. You got back today. We'll need to catch up, Shikamaru says, and Naruto nods, as Choji puts him down. Sure. How about a get-together as my place? Say around 6. I can get some stuff and I'll cook. Burgers, okay, Naruto says, and Choji lights up. Sure. I'll tell Ino and she'll tell the others, Shikamaru says. The 3 say their goodbyes and Naruto makes his up the tower towards Itachi's office, his secretary telling him he is a meeting and would be done shortly. A few minutes pass and a few officials leave Itachi's office and some see him as the secretary tells him to go on in. Naruto. Welcome back, Itachi says, and Naruto bows. I trust your trip was worth it, he adds. It was. I've gotten very much stronger, Naruto says, and Itachi nods. That's good. You can show me tomorrow at 7 a.m. in an evaluation which could promote you to full Jonin. Now tell what you saw, Itachi says. Naruto takes about 2 hours to give a brief overview of his trip from his encounter with Kumo Ninja in snow to the fight with Urashiki on Uzushio and everything in between. You've had an amazing journey. For your evaluation, meet me at training ground 7 in, Itachi says, and Naruto nods, before the Godame dismisses him. The redhead leaves the tower and makes some clones to get what he needs, before heading home and debating on using instant transmission but decides against it to see the village itself. He soon reaches the area of his house but notices it bigger than it was before, still being a 2-story home that has this rustic feel about it but wider and has solar panels on the roof. The front yard looks bigger with a few more trees and long porch having large glass doors and windows. He passes through the gate and along the stone path, passing see a few long flower pots having new flowers as he goes up several steps. He opens the door and takes off his shoes at the landing, seeing the long hall towards one of the 2 bathrooms now has a glass doors leading outside. Did something happen, Naruto thought, passing the stairs leading to the 2nd floor on the right and a few closet storages. He passes the kitchen, dining room and living room on the left towards the glass doors but hears laughing and animal noises. He slides open the glass door to see a very large backyard with a pool, a jacuzzi and back deck above the patio on the 2nd floor. The girls were laughing and playing with Dreiger, Bjorn, Fun and Shiro but look up to see him. Welcome home, darling, Isdeth says. Yeah, and the home looks different, Naruto says. Well, since we all live here now. We did some renovations with Yamato's help, Tsunade says. What about Karen, Naruto asks. She's living at the Senju compound with Tayuya, Sarada replies. Naruto takes a seat in one of the patio chairs with a small "oh, so you're living here now," he says. Yes. We're sharing rooms except for me. Meaning Mujina can move into my room, Kagaya says. We even got you a bigger bed for all of us to sleep in comfortably. It also has its own full bathroom with a jacuzzi tub, Tsunade comments, and Naruto nods dumbstruck but the blonde could see his ears were red. The group spend about 2 hours exchanging stories and Naruto gets the memories of his clones as they move inside to let him prep his burgers for their party. So to gain SSJ4, you need all of us, Sarada says, watching him season his patties. Yeah. I don't know what it will entail either, Naruto says. We'll face it together, Tsunade says, and the others nod. Naruto finishes seasoning 30 patties and begins making his special sauce, before heading upstairs to check out his new bedroom. The bed is definitely larger than a king-size bed with a large closet, the bathroom having the jacuzzi tub but also shower. He finally unpacks some of his things and takes a refreshing shower, getting dressed in some casual shorts and a long-sleeve shirt. When will you do the quest, Musashi asks. I'll give it a few days, Naruto replies, heading back downstairs but sees Tsunade, Sarada, and Kagaya gone. Where is Tsunade? Kagaya and Sarada, Naruto asks. To tell their mothers you've gotten back, Yi says, stroking Dreiger. I might need more patties, Naruto says. I'm sure it'll be enough, Isdeth says and pats her lap. Come lay your head, darling, she adds. Naruto rests his head in Isdetha's lap as it takes Mujina to explore more of the house while Dreiger hops to lay on the redhead's stomach. Isdetha's eyes drift to the glove on Naruto's left hand. If that vile assassin were not dead, I would hunt them down and torture them, she says, stroking his forehead. About an hour later, Sarada and Makoto, Tsunade, Tobium, Karen and Tayuya, Kagaya, Hitomi and twins arrive but find him sleeping in Isdetha's lap. Why is he wearing a glove, Tobium says, and Tsunade explains Naruto was poisoned saving the Queen of Albion. Kitty, Hanabi shouts and pulls Hinata with her, which awaken Naruto from his impromptu nap. He greets the moms, Karen, Tayuya, and the twins, with Tayuya giving him a curt hey before the doorbell rings. Naruto opens the door and pair of breasts slam into his face. "How's it going, Chibi?" and welcome back, a familiar voice crows. A new Naruto says and sees Kakashi with a baby in his arms. She has silver hair like him and Enko's brown eyes as she stares at him curiously. "Meet Rin." "My beautiful baby," Enko says, proudly taking Rin from Kakashi, and as the pair hug. "She is cute," Naruto says, leading them inside to see the others. The moms and girls gush over Rin as Mujina comes back with Ya, allowing the half-elf to meet everyone. Soon everyone begins to arrive, with Team 10 arriving first, also with Asuma and Kurenai. The latter about 5 months pregnant as well. Soon Team Guy arrive, with Guy and Lee crying tears of joy seeing Naruto. He begins cooking burgers and putting potato logs in the oven, everyone wanting a single patty as he and Choji having triple patties. He learns a few things while that Niji and Tenten were dating, also Asuma and Kurenai were married, with Niji being a full jonin. "Food's ready," Naruto declares, his clones finishing their burgers and potato logs. Everything takes their plates and move to the patio, deck, living room or dining table while Naruto makes a clone go to each group. The party lasts until well after midnight as Kakashi and Guy went to get some sweets for every while Enko sent clone for liquor. "What a day," boy of Musashi says, as Naruto climbs in his bed. "Yeah. I hope it wasn't too much for Mujina," Naruto says. Sleep soon comes for the redhead, and the next day comes as Naruto is awake at 5 a.m. He does his business and dresses in shorts, running tights, tank top and a windbreaker for his dailies. He does little more than usual to see the village and arrives at training ground 7 about 10 minutes before 7. Itachi, Hiruzen, Kakashi, Shikaku and arrive with Leaf Shunshin as the redhead is waiting. Music, Gangsta's Paradise 2 WEI. Naruto. The original reason for your trip is hone your skills to prepare yourself for the Akatsuki. Did you find Katsumi Kyo? Itachi says. I did, and he taught me the basics of Sariashiki, and from there I had to forge my own ken, Naruto says. Ken? Shikaku asks. A strike that can be considered a signature blow, Guy says. I managed to create my ken in month with Kage Bunshin, Naruto says, and takes a loose stance, but it is anything but. Kakashi raises his Hitaiate and activates his Sharingan as Itachi does the same. He's going to throw a strike from such a loose stance, Itachi says. It's not that loose. His fist neither clenched nor fully open, Guy says, and gets his answer as Naruto throws his lightning breaker. Each of them cover their ears from the sound of the redhead's punch, but both Sharingan users see the shockwave coming from his arm. Amazing, Guy shouts. Such a punch, Hiruzen says. A punch did that, Shikaku says. A punch thrown as Mach speed. I could perform such a punch, but I would need to use the 7th or even the 8th gate to do so, but I would destroy my limb in the process, Guy says, shocking Shikaku and Kakashi. But with Naruto be a Jinchuriki. Eliminates the risk, Itachi says, and Guy nods. I see. Now Naruto. How many tails can you use, he adds. Naruto immediately creates 4 clones and they move to 4 points around the training ground. Ninpo, Shishinjin, they shout. Naruto the clenches his fists and flexes them up to go SSJ. This is equivalent of 1 tail, he says, and flares his SSJ aura. His hair becomes spiker and blue bioelectricity erupts from his body. This is the equivalent of 4 tails, and this. He says and focuses. How? He roars, as the wind picks up violently and forces them to root themselves in place. Naruto's hair lengthens to pass his, but with some streaks of red like flames. His eyebrows are gone, giving him a more prominent brow and eye ridges. Naruto flexes his more sharply defined muscles and his aura sparks with blue bioelectricity but also buzzes like static. This 8 tails worth, and I am close to reaching 9 tails, Naruto says, his voice slightly deeper. I see, Itachi says. Naruto has become so powerful, Kakashi says, seeing the shocked looks off the Sandame and Shikaku. Naruto, I will promote you to Jonin. I'll give you a month to acclimate to being back into the village, Itachi says. Thank you Lord Godame, Naruto says, powering down. Song ends. Jonin rank achieved. For now you will remain with Team 7 for the next few months and then you'll be able to work solo, Itachi says, as Naruto's clones brings down the barrier. We'll meet at noon for a team meeting, Kakashi says, and Naruto nods, each man shaking the redhead's hand with congratulations before leaving. Naruto heads home and decides to surprise the girls with breakfast if they were still asleep. He lucks out as all the girls were still asleep. He brings up the store and buys 2 packs of 8-count blueberry biscuits, sausage and eggs. He begins cooking and the smells slowly coaxes each of the girls from bed as he tells each he is a full jonin now. About 10 days would as Mujina and Naruto settle into village, while taking the girls on horseback rides with Seafire, but it was now time to reach the final plateau of SSJ. Everyone ready, Naruto says, in the backyard, and everyone nods as they dressed for combat. Special quest received. Ascend to the level between man and beast. Defeat Tarn. Rewards. 1. SSJ 4 unlocked. 2. Individual rewards for party members. They all find themselves in strange but alien world with a red sky but also a large moon in the sky. Where are we? Sarada says. Naruto looks towards the large moon but sees a high tower in the distance. I don't. He starts but suddenly clutches his chest. He begins panting heavily as his heart is beating rapidly as well while crashing to his knees. Naruto, all of them shout, rushing to his side, but he looks their way and his pupils have vanished. Run away. Something is coming. Rarg, Naruto says. Run, Tsunade says, but they get their answer when ominous chakra begins flooding the area. Come on, Sarada shouts, as they shunshin away. Naruto's muscles begin to expand as his clothes rip while a chakra tail forms and twitches rapidly. A crater begins forming under him as rocks lift off the ground into the air, while the sky starts to darken and the wind picks up violently. Sarada and the others have gotten several miles away but could still feel the ominous chakra, but also sees a pillar of gold and sparkling electricity. What is going on? All of them thought as Kaguya uses her Byakugan. Naruto is changing, Kaguya says. Into what? Tsunade says, seeing pillars of rock rising around the pillar gold. Music, Crimson Flames, Naruto Shippuden. Naruto screams as his skin tears from his body as a red-orange fur sprouts from his body, but his body continues to expand. Finally, in Naruto's place is a red-orange kitsune having black fur around its red eyes that stretch up to its ears and 9 long swiping tails. It also has an upper body structure of a human, complete with opposable thumbs on its clawed hands. However, it quickly explodes with power, gaining golden fur as it releasing an echoing roar. Is that? Tsunade says. The Kyuubi no Yoko, Sarada says, feeling the dark power. He transformed into Musashi, Kaguya says. I'm not sure, but we need to stop him. Everyone get close to me, Sarada says, and brings out her Mangekyo. It takes the form of a circle with 8 triangles around it, somewhat resembling the sun, as a pinkish-purple aura forms around them into skeletal ribs. It has taken her nearly a year and a half to attain this form after receiving her mother's eyes to attain the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. What is this? Mujina asks. It's called Susanoo, Sarada says, as the ribs form skeletal arms and a head having a feminine visage. The Uchiha princess focuses her chakra as skin and musculature being to form with 2 oni-like horns, while lifting them into the air, and forms an armored Onimusha with a snarling oni mask having 4 arms. It sees us, Kaguya says. Sarada sees the Kyuubi galloping towards them as 6 chakra wing form behind her. Susanoo, brace for impact, she shouts, bracing with 2 of her 4 arms. Kyuubi slams into them and digs a near-mile rut as everyone holds on while Sarada raises her second arms, bring them down on the golden fox's head. Is death, Sarada shouts. Is death chains several quick signs to dragon, Hayaton, Weissschnabel, she shouts, creating a barrage of icicles. I'll help, Mujina says, bring out her bow and fires magic arrows. Kyuubi roars in pain and jumps back but forces Sarada to avoid a burst of flames from its mouth. How do we bring Naruto back? Ya says, worried as she didn't have any big jutsu to use. We beat some sense into him, Tsunade says and focuses, while the rhombus on her forehead spreads to right eye and down her body. Get us in close, Death says. A pinkish-purple Naginata forms in the upper arms of Sarada's Susanoo as she races towards the charging fox. A big shockwave erupts as the pair collide and Tsunade leaps from the head. Senpo, Gokuraku Jodo, she roars, punching down. Kyuubi's head bounces off the ground from the force behind the punch and creating a large spiderweb crack under it. Hayaton, Growhorn Death shouts, holding a dragon sign. A large horn of ice forms and crashes into the back of the Kyuubi while Sarada catches Tsunade, allowing her to leap back inside her Susanoo. Kyuubi raises its head and charges a Bijidama as Sarada flies up to avoid, but the golden fox seizes, "This our body." "Get out," dual voices shout. "Naruto," Sarada shouts, projecting her voice with chakra. Kyuubi clenches its right fist and slams its fist down as the wind picks up violently once again, forcing Sarada to fly higher. The ground fissures once again as well, with pillars of rock and electricity shooting everywhere to destroy a few of the pillars. Kyuubi begins to shrink down and compress, the torrent of power releasing. "This is my power," echoes out. Kyuubi is now more human-like and wearing Naruto's cargo jeans, boots, and black glove. Is Naruto taking control? Ya says. Kyuubi or Naruto clutches his head and throws his hands skyward with a might yell, creating an explosion of dust and debris to obscure his form. His chakra is so bright, Kagaya says, and cancels her Byakugan. The debris cloud begins to fade and in Kyuubi's place is a human-shaped but muscular figure. "Is that a monkey tail?" Tsunade says, as Sarada lands. "Yes, but slightly bushier," Death says. The figure has reddish-orange fur all over his upper body with his golden red hair wilder, reaching down to the middle of their back with two long pointed bangs of hair appear on both sides of the neck. The figure slowly turns to reveal none on his pecs and abs with shadow trim around his eyes and over the eyelids in a crimson color while his eyes are yellow-green. Naruto, Sarada says, "Bring down her Susanoo." "Yeah. I guess this SSJ 4-inch," Naruto says, smiling softly. The girls were about to rush and hug him, but this sinister aura overcomes them as Naruto looks up to see a flying figure dressed in full-body suit having a muscular form, black hair and crew cut and a mustache. "Everyone, get as far away from here," Naruto says. Sarada and the others shunshin away once again as the flying figure slowly lands. "I thought I would have to kill that fox," the figure says. "Then try to do it now," Naruto says and lowers his stance. "Ready, Musashi," he thought. "Ready, boy," Musashi says, beginning to draw in natural energy. Naruto flares his aura that is now reddish with a small yellowish glow and sparks of bioelectricity. Music change, drowning pool, the game. Naruto and the figure rush forward into skidding right straights that cause the ground and clouds to split down the middle as if the heavens were divided. "Not bad player, and I'll allow you to call me Tarn," the figure says. Both vanish as shockwaves tear through the sky while Naruto and Tarn clash with punches, elbows, knees, skin, kick and headbutts. Tarn calls down a bolt of lightning from the cloudy sky and detonates it into Naruto as the redhead screams in pain. Naruto crashes into the ground like a missile with a large spiderweb fissure as Tarn rockets towards him, but Naruto pops up, firing a final shine into Tarn and sending him careening back. Tarn recovers to Naruto in his face with a Hyakritsuken, all 100 fists augmented by martial chi, and send him towards the tower in the distance. "Rarg! Do not take me lightly," Tarn roars, halting himself. Naruto closes in, but Tarn meets him in a furious clash of blows as shockwaves rip the ground below, before the redhead streaks across the sky but halts himself as Tarn spears him to drives them into the ground. Tarn rains down blows as Naruto blocks but breaks the clash. "Katun, Gokakyu no Jutsu," Naruto thought, spew a fireball into Tarn and throwing him back several feet. Naruto kips up and sees Tarn on his feet, but the front of his bodysuit burned away as his skin is burned as well. "Interesting," Tarn says, as muscles increase in mass. Naruto keeps himself trained as Tarn stares and holds his left hand in front of him before a miniature sun forms. "Cruel sun," Tarn says, and the redhead narrows his eyes, but they quickly widen as the cruel sun is inches from him. It slams into Naruto and sends them both flying at rapid speed with Tarn closely following, before appearing above with double foot stomp to send Naruto crashing to the ground below as Cruel detonate like a tactical missile. Tarn hovers the near mile-wide area of destruction as smoke rises from it but drops through the smoke to find Naruto laying on his side, his pants torn in places as a smirk graces Tarn's lips. "Will you give up, player?" Tarn says, as Naruto begins to move. "Here you go, boy," Musashi says. Naruto feels the rush of natural energy as his sage mode comes to bear while on his knees and his head down but interlocks his hands. "Never," he shouts, slamming his fists into Tarn like a bat. Tarn flies across the destroyed area but catches himself, but Naruto is on him with furious rush of strikes. "Martial Chi, lightning breaker," Naruto shouts, caving in half of Tarn's face and sending him flying about 30 feet. He recovers and calls down another bolt of lightning, but this is a distraction as Tarn forms a humongous cruel sun about a mile wide as he flies up. "Die!" Tarn shouts, half his face mangled and his right eye destroyed. The cruel sun crashes into Naruto and begins to drill into the ground as Tarn lands to feel the shockwave, but it stops and his cruel sun begins to lift itself. "What?" Tarn says. Naruto slowly marches out the crater with the cruel sun begin held by his left hand. "Want this back?" he says, but Tarn's response is to clench his fist and the cruel sun explodes to destroy everything for 2 or 3 miles. Tarn sees a golden shootout from the smoke cloud. "Impossible," he shouts, as Naruto prepares a super Gallic. "He'll never hit me from there," Tarn thought, but Naruto appears behind him. "No," Tarn shouts. "Super Gallic gun," Naruto shouts, firing the bluish blast at point-blank range. It engulfs and erases Tarn, completing the special quest. Song ends. Special quest complete. Rewards: 1. SSJ 4 unlocked. 2. Individual rewards for party members. Naruto and the girls find themselves back in their backyard with the girls holding their heads. "What happened?" he says. "We got a lot of information melded to our brains. Our rewards for clearing the quest," Sarada says. "What did you gain?" Naruto asks. Tsunade raises her left arm and makes her entire arm to her elbow turn glowing black with a bluish hue. "It's called armament hockey. It's the pinnacle of my great-grandfather's taijutsu," she says. "I seem to have awakened the Rinnegan, but only in my left eye," Sarada says, revealing the purple and ripple-patterned eye. Kagaya raises her right arm and a bone emerges from her palm. "Can you make a clone?" she says, and the redhead does, before the bone shoots towards the clone to pierce his chest. Everyone gasps as the clone starts to deteriorate at a molecular level, reducing its body to nothing more than a pile of ash. It's called ash-killing bones. Similar to the now extinct Kagaya clan, Kagaya explains. "Not a bad technique. I've gained cryomancy, making my Hayaton even more powerful," as Death says, smirking. "I've gained a dojutsu called the Eye of Artemis," Mujina says, and her eyes become a glowing yellow with 4 tomo above a solid line through the pupil, which is a brighter yellow, and 2 tomo within it. "It's similar to Kagaya's Byakugan, allowing me to take in visual stimuli and greatly help with my archery," Mujina says. "I've gained SSJ, but I don't know how to unlock," Ya says, shocking Naruto. "Well, I'm sure Darling can teach you," Death says, and Naruto nods. "Yeah, I can take you to Uzushio to try," Naruto says, and Ya slowly nods, smiling softly. And that wraps up today's chapter of Naruto, the Gamer Experience. Naruto's journey is only getting crazier. New powers, stronger enemies, bigger mysteries, and legendary battles still await. If you enjoyed this chapter, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next upload. Comment below, what was your favorite moment in this chapter? Until next time. Keep grinding. Keep leveling up. And I'll see you in the next chapter.